what the person is confessing to. It's not a rehearsing. It's simply to say, this makes sense to this. That is all, my lord.
Ngizochaza ukuthi-ke siveze bonke lobufakazi kodwa ukuzama ukuchaza ukuthi ubufakazi lobu buyahambisana angeke kusho ukuthi umuntu ume khona kukhomba KZN ebese uthi-ke lokho kulungile nanokuthi uma ekhona kukhomba egoli yebo naloku kuvele kwamukelwe kanjalo kodwa vele uchaza ukuthi lo bufakazi lobu buhlangana kanjani and futhi busebenzisana kanjani.
And it is also in the interest of justice, my lord, because in the process of collaboration, if the suspect or the accused is not aware of the crime scene, you will pick that up because he will refer to scenes that have nothing to do with your case docket. He will mention things that are irrelevant. So it is in the interest of justice on both sides, my lord.
Kuyadingeka ukuthi ngizama ukuletha ubulungiswa ukuthi ubheke ukuthi uthini umsolo ngokwesikhathi angachaza indawo engezona ubuse yabona ukuthi cha kusho akayazi le ndaba leyakhuluma ngayo. So ufuna ubheke ukuthi umefaka eletha ubufakazi uzama ukuchaza izinto ezinjani ukuze kubonakala ukuthi oh lena iyangena ngempela kusho ukuthi khona ukuhambelana.
Yes, my lord.
I think I'm going to object. And I'm raising an objection. Investigating officers, their primary function is to investigate a case and bring objective evidence before court. It is for the court to analyze that evidence. What this witness is now doing is embarking on a process of analyzing evidence, which that should be left for the court after the court has been after the court is seized with that objective evidence that came from the investigating officer. It is not their duty to assist the court on how to analyze that evidence. They are taking over what the court is supposed to be doing. We are expecting Mr. Ugininda to say, in the course of our investigation, this is what we found. This is what we found. This is what we found. This which we found is how it connects accused number 1. This is how it connects accused number 2. This is how it connects accused number 3, 4, 5, etc. It is not for him to come and opine as to how the evidence that they found is relevant with the connection of each of the accused person. It's basically usurping the duty that the court should embark upon after having had all the evidence at the end of the case, my lord. I'm strongly objecting to the process that this witness is embarking upon.
I don't know if counsel is saying he's objecting against the process, is he objecting against what he's just said, or trying to link the confession of accused number 1 to the objective facts in this matter. But be that as it may, my lord, what the witness is merely trying to explain is what he explained yesterday. He says there appears to be a misunderstanding, so he's just merely rehashing the explanation that he gave yesterday when Advocate Mnisi was objecting. That's all that he's doing, my lord.
Mr. Ugininda, just repeat what you just said so that we all understand it. My lord, I said the collaboration of the confession is not the rehearsing of evidence. When the confession is made, my lord, you need to collaborate those facts, and that is in the interest of justice, in my view. Because let's assume, my lord, where great injustice can be done, a person makes a confession, but he points a different sin. And then because he made a confession, you just take it and file it. You don't collaborate as to whether the sin that is being pointed, is it relevant to the matter that you're investigating. You have to collaborate it to find credence, to find evidence and proof. And that is exactly what I'm referring to. It's not a rehearsal of what Colonel Mboto wrote, what Lieutenant Colonel Daparo wrote in the magistrate. Is to say, after I received this confession, because yes, as Mr. Mnisi rightfully says, I'm the investigating officer, I have a duty to investigate. And I'm presenting the facts that I found when I compare what was contained on the confession statement in relation to the docket. That's exactly what I'm representing to the court. Because if I keep that, that is why would I not tell the court to say, when I read the confession that is made by accused number 1, I found this fact, and this fact collaborates with the docket and the crime scene. That is all that I'm saying, my lord. I'm not making a judgment call as to how the court must find the evidence or what it did. I'm simply referring at the duty and the role I did when I received the statement and in trying to collaborate it. That's what I'm saying, my lord.
May I respond? Make an example. Excuse me, madam.
I say, he says it's not exactly my duty, collaborating.
It definitely does that, my lord. And may I make an example so that as we go forward, my lord, then we are clear on the process that we're supposed to be embarking upon. He testified yesterday, I think, and referred to Mr. Mure and said that some witnesses in the house, they got information, or also in the statement that he went through, that is contained in the confession, one make of the statement speaks about a person who had dreadlocks. And in his view, he specifically said that, and in his view, that person is accused number 3. Should that not be actually be left in the domain of the court? We're not interested in his views. All that we're interested in are facts that he has collected, evidence, my lord. It could be direct evidence, it could be circumstantial evidence, or what other form of evidence, but we are only interested in the evidence that is bringing before court. We're not interested in his views. That is why I'm saying, my lord, is basically usurping the function that it should be seized with the court. It's basically saying to the court, this is how the court's judgment must be penned. He's penning his own judgment, my lord. I don't know for what, because he's just an investigating officer. He's only here to assist the court with facts and nothing else but facts. Thank you, my lord.
Please, my lord. Yesterday we looked at section 209, which we read in the record, and what this witness is merely saying is contained in section 209. That is the first thing, but all that the witness regarding the fact that in his view, when reference is made to a person with dreadlocks is accused number 3, all that he's saying is that the evidence establishes that the person who had dreadlocks is accused number 3. And we refer to the relevant photo, which is not disputed, that shows that accused number 3 had dreadlocks. That's all that the witness is doing. And secondly, we indicated, my lord, in the beginning that the version of accused number 1 is that he's not the source of this confession. Now, all that the exercise that this witness is embarked upon is to indicate that accused number 1 is the only person who could have been the source of what is contained in this document. That's the exercise that Brigadier Gininda is busy with.
Yeah, this court is experienced enough to sift evidence from witnesses and judge the evidence on the facts as Mr. Mnisi suggests. Now you see this case, here's an investigating officer. He says, among the people who were inside the house, the evidence is clear. It was only supposed, and I'm not making any finding. It was supposedly a person with dreadlocks. There were no 6 guys with dreadlocks or 10 guys with dreadlocks. And then he makes a conclusion that it must have been accused number what. I'm not bound by what he says, I'm bound by the facts. Maybe there were 20 guys with dreadlocks, I don't know.
I'm indebted to the court, my lord. Now that the court has said that, the court is trained enough to separate wheat from the chaff, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Thank you.
As a good please, my lord, you've indicated in your evidence just before the short adjournment that Mr. Sizwe Zungu also gave a statement to the effect that accused number 5 was driving a grey VW on the day of the incident. Can I refer you to the record of the proceedings on the 7th of September 2023, page 9,
Yes, my lord.
and from line 16 to 20?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So it reads as follows, my lord. Mr. Baloyi, did you see what vehicle accused 5 was driving on that day? Mr. Zungu, yes, I did. Mr. Baloyi, yes. What type of vehicle was he driving? Mr. Zungu, it was a grey Polo hatchback.
Uthi lena-ke ukubuza ke umshushisi uBaloyi uthi wayibona yini imoto eyayishayelwa umsolo wesihlanu ngalelo langa. uZungu yaphendula uthi yebo. Uyabuza ke futhi uBaloyi uthi yebo kwakuyinhlobo yemoto ayishayela. Uyaphendula ke uZungu ukuthi kwakuyipolo egrey eyi-hatchback.
We can then get back to exhibit FF, the confession of accused number 1.
Yes, my lord.
You're busy analyzing, you can proceed. If perhaps you can have a look at page 1 of that statement. It refers to a date on 2014 between September and October. What is your comment regarding that?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So this date, my lord, the month in particular, refers to the period when this incident took place. More or less, this one took place in October, the 26th of October 2014. And accused number 1 says on 2014, between September and October. So it's close. So this is a collaboration that was referring to this particular matter.
Manje le nyanga le ebonakalayo uSeptember inyanga evezwe umsolo wokuqala okusho ukuthi ke ngaleso sikhathi ke okwenzeka ngayo isigameko kwenzeka ngomhla 26 October kusho ukuthi ke yiso lesi sikhathi lesi sokwenzeka kwaloku bugebengu lo.
Furthermore, my lord, in the collaboration where he makes mention of the name Senzo Meiwa, around that period of October 2014, my lord, the only Senzo Meiwa that was shot and killed in Kosoras is the deceased, the matter that we are dealing with, my lord.
futhi kokunye ukuthi ke leli gama lelaliveza likasenzo meyiwa ilona gama kuphela likasenzo meyiwa owayedutshulwe ngaso leso sikhathi.
In other words, my lord, I'm saying there are no different deceased with similar name and surname that were killed under these circumstances in that area in the month of October or September 2014. It's only this deceased. So an inference can be drawn that he was referring to this particular matter.
Manje ke futhi okunye ukuthi ke akekho omunye usenzo meyiwa owadutshula owabula kulesi simo kuleyo ndawo ngaleyo nyanga okusho ukuthi ke ngeke kwenzeke ukuthi mhlambe kungaba khona omunye owayengaba ekhuluma ngayo kusho ukuthi vele ukhuluma ngaye lo okuleli cala.
Yes, ma'am.
That's another objection, my lord. This witness simply refers to an inference. Who is seized with that functionary of drawing inferences? It is not him, because that is not a fact. What he's presenting now, he says an inference can be drawn that it was. Now, I'm not even so sure whether he's aware of R versus Blom on the drawing of inferences. So he can't just stand there boldly and say an inference can be drawn that it is him. It is for this court, my lord, to deal with the question of inferences after the state has requested that the court should draw a particular inference, not a witness who is an investigating officer. Him is to bring facts before court, not to tell this court that it should draw inferences. This is highly irregular. Thank you.
I think the court has already commented just a short while ago that the court is trained to separate opinion and inferential reasoning. I think all that the witness is saying, my lord, is that the name of Mr. Senzo Meyiwa has been mentioned here, which is what this case is all about. But I'll request the witness to refrain from making any inferences and just give facts. Yes.
My lord, I've noted, but I think Mr. Mnisi is really quoting me out of context, and I left it the first time, but I see now he's continuing. First, he said, I gave an opinion or something to that effect that no one in the house, like it was my view, that accused number 3 was the one with the dreadlocks. He didn't refer as to under what circumstances.
This is the court, my lord. Mr. Baloyi is a prosecutor, he is a witness.
Just say what he wants to say.
Oh, thank you.
He said, I don't allow people to talk in this court.
No, but what I'm saying, my lord, he's under the guidance of the prosecutor. He just can't just do things willy-nilly, my lord, like a wanton sheep as a president.
However, my lord, if I may just ask my lord leave to make just a few submissions, my lord. If there is an objection, my lord, between counsels, the objection is between the parties, the defense and the state, and the ruling will be from the court. The witness is not allowed to get inside and give explanation unless it's invited by the court to do such, my lord. Thank you.
Yeah, let's finish what you're saying.
Yes, my lord. So I was saying, my lord, that is out of context because the facts of the matter contained in this docket, and these are the facts. They point that the person with the dreadlocks who went inside that house is accused number 3, Mr. Mnisi's client. There are statements in this docket. So to say I'm making whether an assumption or an opinion is selective in that, and I don't think it's in the interest of justice, my lord, with greatest respect to him, because he's sitting with the facts that point in terms of the statements. Mr. Zungu, Sizwe Zungu, I mean, it was before this court was not here, but the statement indicates what he knows. The firearm that was used as a murder weapon is linked to accused number 3.
He's objecting, my lord. That is totally irrelevant. That is totally irrelevant for this moment. How does he say that the firearm is linked to accused number 3 when that aspect is being investigated? No, that is totally irrelevant, my lord. And this witness, my lord, is going to tell us He is disrespectful to this court because they can only speak to the court through the prosecutor. What he's doing here is total disrespect of this August House. And I'm going to request the court to tell him to refrain from doing that. Because now he's saying the firearm in question here is linked to accused number 3. Where does he get that from? Where does he get that from? Because that aspect is still being investigated. It's total disrespect.
So we'll get to those aspects, Brigadier. But if I can then ask that we return to Exhibit F.
Yes, my lord.
Paragraph 1. It's mentioned that on that week, in that year, during the week, it was on Wednesday, I was at my place at hostel in Foslores at Basotho section.
Yes, my lord.
Was this fact known to the police?
No.
This address?
No, it wasn't, my lord.
Manje kuyakusho lapho ukuthi ngangise ngalelo viki ngolesithathu ngangise-hostel manje uyabuza ukuthi amaphoyisa ayekwazi yini lokho cha engakwazi.
Is it correct that the bank statements of accused number 1 have since been obtained and served as an exhibit before the court?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yabo izitatimende zasebhenki zilomsolo wokuqala zatholakala futhi zibekiwe phambi kwenkantolo.
I just want to show you exhibit triple E in brackets 5. These are the bank statements from Nedbank. Can you just place on record in whose name the bank statements are?
The bank statement, my lord, are from Nedbank, and on top it says that for Mr. Muzuka Ukulelwa, Temba Sibia, of 43 Sutu Hostel, Border Avenue, Fosloras South, Reslo. Then the code is 1473, my lord.
Thank you.
1473.
Ya lapha ngiyabona ukuthi lesi statement lesi istatement esikaMuzuka Ukulelwa Stemba Sibiya and ikheli lakhe ke number 43 Sutu Hostel Border Drive Fosloras South.
Thank you. In paragraph 3 of the statement,
Yes, ma'am.
and perhaps maybe to be more precise, paragraph 4 of the statement, he refers to the fact that they drove to the traditional healer, Nkulu. Yesterday you did comment on this version, is that correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo ngikhulumile ngalo mkhulu.
You can perhaps just put that on record, paragraph 4 and 5.
Yes, my lord. It says sometimes, paragraph 4, sometimes we drove to the traditional healer, Mkulu, we used to call him, and he is from Swaziland. This is the traditional healer we used to go to before we committed a crime. Suppose we wanted to say committing a crime. He is from Swaziland, paragraph 5. The Inyanga stays at Kabuhlungu at Pamridge, and we entered there, 3 of us. Marco is the one who explained to the traditional healer Mkulu that we want to check if we are going to succeed in doing this job. He further mentioned to Mkulu that we are going to kill Senzo Meyiwa, and we were bought or hired by Kelly Kumalo, who was the girlfriend to Senzo Meyiwa.
Thank you.
Uthi ke lana sijayele ngesisikhathi ke sasike siye enyangeni sabizwa ukuthi umkhulu sasimshayela ucingo ngoba uvela eSwazini. Kusho ukuthi lena yile nyanga lena esasiya kuyona singakenzi ubugebengu ukuthi le nyanga lena yayivela eSwaziland. Le nyanga ihlale eKatlehong ePamridge. Sathi kuma singena lapho sangena sibathathu umakho uyena ke owachaza kule nyanga lena umkhulu ukuthi sifuna ukuzohlola ukuthi uma ke la esiyakhona sizophumelela yini ngalomsebenzi siyowenza. Futhi waqhubeka wachaza umkhulu ukuthi siyobulala uSenzo Meyiwa and futhi ke sesiqashwe uKelly Kumalo owaye ulo girlfriend kaSenzo Meyiwa.
Yes, yes,
Paragraph
ma'am.
6.
Paragraph 6 read as follows, my lord. Marco told us that Kelly want money from Senzo, but he never told Mkulu that. Mkulu, traditional healer, checked for us and said we are going to succeed to kill the said person, and he also gave us protection medicine and beads to put on our arms or at our waist, which was going to make us to succeed in killing him and to protect us from any danger. We paid Mkulu 50 rand for taking our job.
Umakho wasitshela ukuthi uKelly wayefuna imali kuSenzo kodwa akazange amtshele umakho umkhulu lokho. Umkhulu oyinyanga wasihlolela wayesesitshela ukuthi ke sizophumelela ekubulaleni lo muntu esifuna ukuyombulala, and futhi wasinika ke ukusivikela umuntu okusivikela esawugcobe ezandleni nasokhalweni okwakuyosenza ukuthi sikwazi ukuphumelela ekumbulaleni nokuthi ke kusivikele kunanoma yiphi ingozi. Umkhulu ke sasesimkhokhela u50 ukuthi asihlolele umsebenzi wethu.
Yesterday you referred to the evidence of Mr. Lana Zwani. Were all these facts that are mentioned in these paragraphs that you've placed on records, were they known to you or any member of the investigating team?
No, they were not known, my lord.
Hayi sengakwazi lokho.
Brigadier Gininda, just in brief, without going through every sentence in the confession, the facts that are stated in this confession, exhibit FF, were they known to you or any member of the team?
No, my lord, they were not known to us, my lord. In fact, my lord, as I said, what we heard at the time is that he was one of the shooters. We did not know that he was standing outside. This fact came from him. What I heard in terms of the affidavit that was disposed by Mr. Mxolisi is that him and accused two were the perpetrators, and that was in line with the docket. So in our understanding at the time is that he was one of the perpetrators. He gave a different submission as per this document, my lord. We didn't know this.
Sengakwazi lokho esakuthola ku-Mxolisi ukuthi yena nomsolisi bili babe abanye bezelelisi ukuthi ke yena wayemi ngaphandle sasingakwazi konke konke lokho esasikwazi nje ukuthi lokho esikunikwe u-Absalom Mthembu.
My lord, we just request that the reference to what was said by Absalom Zungu be left out of account.
Reference to what was said by?
Reference as to what would have been mentioned by Absalom Zungu be left out of account, as he hasn't been called as a witness. Is it correct to say that you were... Yes.
He's made a statement. Zwani, is that Zwani?
No, Mr. Absalom Zungu.
Oh, Zungu,
Yes.
Absalom.
Yes.
Or is that the father to
Yes.
the police guy?
Yes.
Yeah, but did he make a statement?
Yes, he did make a statement.
Yeah, fine. No?
Yes.
So this allows
So-
it. But do you know the case of the Poko?
Yes.
You know that case? Talks about hearsay evidence.
Yes.
It's an SCA case, 2000 and I think 2009 by Unterhalter. It's related to Modimu, etc., etc. Just read that case. What it says about a report which is made to a person by a witness. Okay, fine. We heard you.
There's also the Hearsay Act, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were working on the information that you had at your disposal.
Indeed, my lord.
You say I must exclude that. I'm excluding because you see.
Yes. Yes, I think there's a duty on the state not to let hearsay evidence.
Yeah, fine. fine.
Thank you. And we're not going to refer in detail to, as mentioned, to everything that was said, but if you can just put the contents of paragraph 10 on record. Or maybe starting from paragraph 9.
Okay, my lord. So it reads as follows. After dropping the call, he told us that Kelly is calling and want to know if we are coming. Then we alighted at the corner and we walked on foot to the house. And the firearm was with Marco. And he asked who was going to enter the house. We decide that we can make as if we are committing a robbery, and the firearm was one and it was at Marco's possession. Marco asked who was going to get in, and I told them, no, me. I am going to stand outside and watch if there is somebody who come in and disturb us, and must quickly report. Marco and Makimbi got into the house, and Marco was the one who was in possession of the firearm. That's the end of paragraph 10.
Emva kokuthi ke ngivaleke lolo cingo emva kokuthi avale lolo cingo wasesitshela ukuthi uKelly umshayeli ucingo ufuna ukwazi ukuthi siyeza yini, and emva kwaloko ke sasesiphume emotweni and sasesihamba ngeenyawo ukuya endlini, and futhi ke isibhamu sasiphume uphethe uMarco, and wayesesibuza ukuthi ubani ozongena endlini. Sasesike sikhuluma ukuthi ke sizokwenza sengathi sizogebenga, and futhi isibhamu sasisodwa and siphethe uMarco, uma khona kwasebuza ukuthi ubani ozongena ngase ngimtshela ukuthi mina ngizobe ngime ngaphandle ukuthi ngiqaphele le ngaphandle ukuthi akekho yini ozoza azosithikameza nebese ke ngishesha ke ngiyabika ukuthi ukhona yini umakho ke noMakhimba basebengene endlini umakho ke uyena owayephethe isibhamu.
Now, were these facts known to the investigating team?
Lokho kwaziwa yini yithimba eliphenyayo?
No, my lord. As I said, the information contained in the docket only referred to accused 1 and 2. This was not known to us.
Cha, lonke ulwazi lolu lwakhona kudocument lwalukhuluma ngomsolo oqala nowesibili. Kwakungaziwa konke lokhu kuthini
At that stage, my lord.
ngaleso sikhathi.
And the fact that reference is made to the fact that one of the assailants had a firearm, what is your comment?
Ndiningi ukuthi ke kuthiwe omunye ke wazenhlelelesi wayephethe isibhamu.
My lord, this corroborates the statements of the witness who were inside the house, who says the first suspect with dreadlocks had a firearm.
Lokho ngihambisana nofakazi obulethwe ilabo ababengaphakathi endlini ukuthi ke lo wayenama dreadlock uyena wayephethe isibhamu.
And what is your comment regarding the fact that mention is made of the fact that two assailants entered the house?
My lord, that is also it also corroborates the statements of the people who were inside the house because they described 2 suspects, 1 short, 1 tall, my lord.
Yebo futhi lokho kuhambisana nalabo ababengaphakathi endlini abasinufazi bokuthi babe babili abangena omude nomfishane.
It's paragraph 11.
Paragraph 11, my lord, they entered and closed the door and demanded cell phones. According to them, they said they found 3 people in the house. That was Meyiwa and the 2 girls in the dining room. One of those 2 girls was Kelly. They said